So let's go ahead and check out how we would do this question. And I want you to see that I'm going to show you the approach that I personally would take if I were looking through this question. Obviously, there's going to be various other approaches, but they're saying that it would take 120 seconds to print the handbook. And they're talking about the pages being printed, specifically how many pages there are. So let's say there's 120 seconds to print P pages. And it doesn't matter whether you put seconds in the numerator and pages in the denominator or vice versa. You just want to be clear on what you're doing. So in my case, I'm doing seconds over pages. Then they say it takes 150 seconds. So we're creating a proportion here. 150 seconds to print the handbook that was P pages, but then it has an additional 10-page supplement. So instead, it's P plus 10 pages. So at this point, you can actually go directly into Desmos to figure out what P is, specifically for the handbook without the supplement, which was just this P value. If they asked instead, how long is the actual handbook with the supplement, once we get P, we'd have to add 10 to it. So let's click on Desmos and just type this in. So we have 120, and I'm going to do the slash to make it a fraction. And instead of using P, I'm going to use X, because P, or really any variable that's not X, is going to be used for a constant value, like a slider value. So let's go here, we'll put equals 150 slash, and then I'm going to put X plus 10. Now we can go ahead and zoom out until we can find out where it's located. I like using this version here. When you click on the wrench, you'll see that there's two formats. This one actually worked out pretty nicely in this case. Yeah, a little bit better. So you can always zoom in as well, and it'll make it really clear. But we can see that P is equal to 40, and we could totally be done with the question. However, if you're curious how you would do it by hand, you would just cross multiply. So let's say 150 times P is equal to 120 times P plus 10. And then I can go ahead and distribute the 120 to get 120P plus, obviously 12 times 1 is 12, and then there's 1, 2 zeros. And then we're going to get P's to one side and numbers to the other. So I'll go ahead and bring the 120p over, and we have 30p is equal to 1200. Now you could use your calculator, of course, but when dividing the 30 on both sides, I'm just going to cross out the zeros that they have in common. It's the equivalent of dividing top and bottom by 10. And then 3 goes into 12 4 times, and then I have a 0. So either way, we get our correct answer as 40.